do a wrestling live stream. I did a live stream for one of my favorite games as of right now, Star Wars Empire at War. But this week, back with wrestling. The title of the live stream should tell you right now what it is I'm doing this week. And as always, you know what I like. You know I love my Powerades. Fruit Punch, Mixed Berry, and the Orange. And orange are the only three flavors I will ever drink in the Powerades. Whether it be regular or the zero, or the Powerade Zeros. But I'm sure by the time I'm done drinking this, my tongue will be so red. But hey, let's get on with this show. I went a little early, and that's kind of nice. My little battery was by like 3:10, 3:15. I was like done, and I was like, I might be willing to. I'll see what my phone is at when it comes to the charging wise. I saw it was completely charged up, so I was like, okay, yes. I do want to go live. Ah, Sarah, thank you for showing up, and thank you for hitting that like button. Well, yeah, we should just get into the show because I'm hoping to get this live stream done within an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes tops. Don't want to try to go too long, just so you know. Hey, Austin, thanks for coming. And if we can get this live stream to 10 likes, I would be most gracious, most appreciated. Thanks, Austin, for liking. You guys want to share out my live stream, feel free to do so. I know, Austin, I know you've done that before on a couple of times. I know I got a friend named Jeffrey who comes in and he shares his live stream, my live stream, I think, on his channel. But hey, you guys want to see if we can get this thing, baby, to 10 likes. Hey, Danny, so happy to see you. I don't think you were here last week, but you actually did kind of miss a little something. Oh, Herman the Great Victory channel. I think I saw you last night on the Grow Show, Social Media Grow Show channel. Social Media Grow Show, I think it was either that or you were on Corey's channel. It's okay. I'm here to let y'all know what happened this week. But yeah, I think you might have missed my live stream last week, Danny, but I don't know if you would have actually. Wait, which one though? Because I was on two separate live streams last night. Social Media Grow Show and Corey's comedy channel. Because I can't really remember. Well, I'm actually sort of live 10 minutes early. I usually try to go for 3:30 as my start time for live streams. I usually try to go for a 3:30 start time, just so I have plenty of time after the live stream to be able to do whatever I would like to do. Oh, okay, yeah, Social Media Grow Show, okay. To be able to do what I want to do, because before I went live, most of what I was doing, besides getting my notes ready for the live stream, is just on YouTube, just watching random videos. One of my favorite shows to watch right now is the Masked Singer. Now, for those who don't know, I have a ton of short videos on this channel where I just react to the Masked Singer, and I react to certain things like certain performances, and then I do a little short video reacting to the reveal at the end of the show, whoever's revealed at the end of the show. I have a person on here on what I'll show you guys, I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. On here, I got someone on here that I am subscribed to. Miss Zelica. She does reaction videos to The Masked Singer. I love her reactions to The Masked Singer. And now, and today she uploaded her reaction to the most recent episode, which was this week's. So I was watching that, and I was watching a couple of wrestling videos for WWE and AEW this week. But enough of that. Let's get into the story, into the show, because you didn't come here to hear me rumble and rant about various nonsense. Yes, and also if you guys would like to put your links, the links to your channels in the chat, feel free to do so. That is, if you're a mod, and if there's someone who would like to have their link dropped in the chat and they're not a mod, my mods can do that, can help with that. Yeah, thanks. But hey, let's get on with the show itself. Obviously, like always, we start out with Monday Night Raw. It's Monday Night Raw. It's Monday. It's the first day of the week, and it's obviously the first show of the week of every week. And the opening segment, the show, we opened up with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and they were with Tiffany Stratton. Bayley, Nia Jax, and Candice LeRae. They called out the team of Bianca. They called out Bianca, Jade, Naomi, and Io Sky, they were all involved in a huge brawl the previous week. So they called them out for a War Games match. But then they sort of joked about the fact that the baby faces were down a member, and she invited anybody to come out there and throw the first punch almost immediately, as like right on cue. This is my brutality starts playing, and who comes out? None other than Rhea Bloody Ripley, who was attacked. And if you guys don't know what happened to Rhea Ripley, I'd suggest watching a video from NXT a couple weeks ago, or if you want to just type in, do a YouTube search engine like Rhea Ripley NXT attack, and it will take you to a video, and probably the first video that pops up will be a video from one of the more recent NXT shows a couple weeks ago, where Rhea Ripley went down to NXT to talk to some of the NXT women that were involved in that 10-woman tag team match on the ECW edition of NXT, live from the ECW arena. And she got attacked apparently while she was leaving the arena, she got attacked in the parking lot by Raquel and Liv. She comes back this week wearing a protective face mask, looking like undashing Cody Rhodes-esque with the face mask. Every time everybody wears a protective face mask nowadays, they're just going to automatically associate it with Cody Rhodes. And they're almost always going to bring up undashing Cody Rhodes, because he was the first person to really wear a protective face mask after getting his face literally broken. 9 likes. Oh my gosh. Only 10 minutes in, and I've already 9 likes. Can we get this to 10? And then after that, could we even get it to 15? Because this is probably the fastest amount of likes I've ever gotten, on the live stream while it's still running, while the live stream's still going. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. Love, love, love. I love love. Yep. Whatever, Aaron. But hey, she came out, got into the ring, screamed at the top of her lungs, "War Games!" and then headbutted the hell out of Liv Morgan, and then all hell just broke loose. And so that's the War Games match. Now, obviously, as of last night, SmackDown last night had some something happened that had huge implications, has huge implications for War Games, but I will get to that when I get to SmackDown. After this, we got a Bronson Reed video package for detailing last week's SmackDown episode where Bronson Reed out of nowhere decided to team up with the New Bloodline in the War Games match, in the men's War Games match. And I didn't know this. I know that Bronson Reed is Australian, but I also did not know that Bronson Reed is also part Samoan. He has Samoan blood, even though he's not bloodline family related, but he is Samoan, somewhat Samoan. So I'm like, oh, okay, that somewhat makes sense, but then it doesn't make sense. But yeah, Bronson Reed will be in the team, and tonight the OG Bloodline was there, potentially scouting out potential people to help them. So it is what it is. Then we go and we're backstage with Finn Balor and the Judgment Day. Now, I don't know what's going on with the Judgment Day. They seem to be... Oh, yeah, I would say... Oh, and Danny, I don't know if you recognize it, but a lot of WWE fans were picking up on the colors that Paul Heyman was sporting last night. Black, obviously black suit jacket, red shirt, and a red pocket square, which obviously is a bit reminiscent of Solo Sikoa, because I've seen Solo Sikoa wear that exact color combo on a number of occasions, especially since he's started calling himself Tribal Chief and started this whole Bloodline 2.0 thing. I've seen him wear that exact color combo. So people were thinking, is Paul Heyman back to portray Roman Reigns? And then there's also rumors going around that Paul Heyman might leave Roman Reigns, but then just go back to managing CM Punk, which would not be a bad idea because they were great, but I don't know. But yeah, CM Punk made it pretty clear last night that he was there only for Paul Heyman, not Roman Reigns. How are they going to get along? How are the two of them going to get along? I think so, actually. I do believe that. I do believe that. Yeah, I think that is that. Well, that's basically Devil's colors, anyways. Black and red. I mean, black and red. That's basically Devil's colors, anyways. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me a bit if that had been. It's okay, Austin. I don't mind. But yeah, we got Finn Balor backstage. He was giving some words of advice to Carlito and Dominic Mysterio in regards to their upcoming match that night against the War Raiders. War Raiders won a tournament to be crowned #1 contenders for the World Tag Team titles currently held by Finn Balor and JD McDonough. But recently, Finn Balor has not been a happy camper. sort of getting a little upset. He's a little upset over the fact that Dominic recently got mainly because Damian Priest is getting another shot at Gunther's World Championship, and also the fact that Dominic Mysterio got an opportunity for a chance at the World Heavyweight Championship, and he has been wanting a shot ever since his last shot with Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins was still the champion. And I think he's just getting a little bit jealous of the fact. I think now, because look, as much as Finn Balor and as much as this new Judgment Day like to proclaim that there are no leaders, that they're all equal, we all know that Finn Balor wants to be the leader and wants to be the one that calls all the shots, wants to be the one that's like Damian Priest, like Rhea Ripley, wants to call all the shots. Also, Finn Balor wants to be World Heavyweight Champion, and he can't stand it when somebody else, even someone from his own group, gets a potential shot at it. And I don't know if they're teasing a Dominic split from the group, or maybe they're just teasing Finn Balor splitting, a Finn Balor split. But I don't think this new Bloodline Judgment Day should split anytime soon. Then we got a Miz video package with the Final Testament. They had a message for the Wyatt Six after last week when Miz basically acted like he was a changed person and didn't want to be involved with any of this anymore between the Wyatt Six and the Final Testament, and only to reveal that he had not been changed and that he is still the cowardly shit heel that he is, taking the easy way out. So he is officially a part of the Final Testament now. After a few weeks of being like, I don't know if I want to be involved in this, he's finally here. Not yet, Nate. Hey, Nate, thanks for the like. And no trolls at the moment. Hey, Jeffrey, thank you. Or maybe that was you, Jeffrey, that hit the 10th like. But hey, if any of you guys are just now coming in here and that you haven't hit that like button, feel free to do so. As I've said millions of times every time I go live. Like I say every time I go live, it is never required, but I always appreciate it. I always appreciate the likes, even though I don't expect them and I don't need the likes. I could really use them, and I appreciate it. Well, thank you. And Nate, if you want to hit that like button as well, like I said, feel free to do so. It's never required, but I would appreciate it. We got I've never seen that movie, The Devil Wears Prada, even though I would like to see it. It's supposed to be really good from what I mean, I know it's based on a book that was written by an ex Vogue employee about Anna Wintour, which I don't know hardly anything about, but just when you said Devil Wears Prada, I was like, I haven't seen that movie, but I would like to. Mainly because I love Meryl Streep and I like Anne Hathaway. But yeah. We got OG Bloodline are backstage. They are looking for a 5th member for War Games. They run into Seth Rollins and they tell Seth Rollins that they need a 5th member for War Games, and that since Bronson Reed is now on the New Bloodlines team, they figured Seth Rollins might want to join up with them. Seth Rollins turned them down flat. He said, I don't care if Bronson Reed is on the team. Yes, I do want to get my hands on Bronson Reed, and yes, I would love to get my hands on Bronson Reed inside War Games, but I'm getting my hands on him tonight. And I don't care if he's in War Games. I do not want to team up with Roman Reigns ever again. Like, Seth Rollins basically made it clear that there's no way that he's going to be the fifth member. You can't. And after Raw went off the air, I'm like thinking to myself, no, it's not happening. Seth Rollins is not the guy, because he made it pretty clear that he's not joining and that he's never ever forgiving Roman Reigns for any of the stuff that he did. So while being the tribal chief, so why would he join? It would just make WWE look stupid, and it would make Seth Rollins look stupid for just blindly accepting to team up with Roman Reigns after everything Seth Rollins did to try to take Roman Reigns out of power to begin with. But hey, it is what it is. We also got a Dakota Kai video package. Dakota Kai recently came back as a part of Damage Control. They picked up a win last week against the Pure Fusion Collective, which was a okay match, but nothing special. And it is what it is. But I'm glad she's back. This was actually a very good video package, though, for her. And I'm excited to see what they do with her in the near future. Then we get our first match, War Raiders versus the Judgment Days, Carlito and Dominic Mysterio. 9 minutes. This match went about 9 minutes. War Raiders did win, but after the match, almost immediately after the match, we get Finn Balor and JD McDonough coming in to attack the War Raiders. They went to work on the back of the neck of, I can't remember which one it was, Eric or Ivar. One of them had some type of like neck problems. That was like what forced them out for so long. But, well, they did it for both of them, basically. But yeah, I'm excited to see the War Raiders versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough whenever the match happens, and I'm hoping the War Raiders actually win, because they came back, they won the tournament. It would be stupid for them not to win, because they clearly have the size advantage over Finn Balor and JD McDonough, and even with the numbers game basically on the side of Judgment Day, there's no way that they should lose to the Judgment Day. I'm just going to say this right now. We also got a video package for Lyra Valkyria. I haven't seen her in a while, but she got a video package. It was also pretty good, so yeah. Here's what it is. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm looking for something. Just a second here. I gotta look for something. Yes. We also got a Wyatt 6 video package. They had a message for the Final Testament, for Miz in the Final Testament. As always, it was mysterious, it was spooky, and it was genuinely just good. Now, in this video package, we saw Bo Dallas, but I don't know if any of you have noticed, but Bo Dallas is starting to look a lot like his brother Bray. Because in the video package, you can clearly see that there's a resemblance between like the old school, like Wyatt family version of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. With the long hair, mustache, beard, and everything. He's starting to look like his brother, and I think it's actually kind of a nice touch to his character that he's starting to actually look like his brother. And this whole group is all because of Bray Wyatt, because this was all Bray Wyatt's work. He was going to lead this group at some point, but then Bray Wyatt died, and now his brothers come back to lead the faction in his honor, and I like it. I like the Wyatt 6. But the only thing I will say is that since the White Six came out, debuted, they've almost looked invincible, especially when they were booked against the American Made. Like, American Made lost every single match they were involved in with the Wyatt Six, and it frustrated the hell out of me because I wanted American Made to get at least one win in this feud, and they didn't. It's almost like whenever Karrion Kross feuds with somebody, it's like he always loses, and it's stress and it like irritates the crap out of me because I know Karrion Kross is good and deserves to win matches, but it's like WWE can't commit to him winning anything unless it's against someone that doesn't even someone that's lower on the card than he is. Like, I feel like Karrion Kross would have a better chance of getting a win against Akira Tozawa than he would be getting a win against someone like, say, Seth Rollins or Bronson Reed or anybody like that. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not mad, just frustrated. Then we also got a mixed tag match on SmackDown, on Raw. We got Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega versus Ivy Nile and Chad Gable. Another match that I thought that the heels would actually win, yet they lost. Rey and Zelina won the match in almost about 10 minutes or so. It was a good match. I don't know. Well, Danny, enjoy your meal. If you don't come back before the live stream ends, then okay, I'll see you tonight. Another match that was a good match, but hey, did it need to happen? Maybe not, because I don't want to see, from here on out, I do not want to see American Made losing another match. The only win American Made has gotten recently was a match with Ivy Nile and Zelina Vega, where Ivy Nile put Zelina in a dragon sleeper. Ooh, I love burritos. I love burritos. Especially when it's got beef, beans, refried beans, cheese, sour cream, salsa, but the non-chunky kind. Not the one that has all those chunks in it, but just regular mild salsa sauce. And that's it. That's what I like on my burritos. Whenever we have burritos. Ooh. My goodness. Whoa, oh man. I think it went down the wrong way. Oh man. Oh yeah, he's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Well, Danny, do not let me keep you from eating your delicious burritos. Okay, go eat your burritos and have fun. Okay, I'll see you tonight. But I don't want to keep you any longer. But yeah, from here on out, I don't want to see American Made losing another match. And after the match, Chad Gable was obviously upset about the fact that he keeps losing matches, that his group seems to be losing left and right, and he should be upset. He should be mad. He should be angry that he's losing constantly. Yeah, and American Made started getting fired up. Brutus and Julius started getting fired up, and they started like hitting each other, but it wasn't like they were feuding with each other. They were like just psyching each other up. But yeah, we also got Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. Also, we got Gunther was backstage. he was talking with Ludwig Kaiser. He appreciates Ludwig Kaiser always being there by his side, but I think he's starting to feel like Ludwig needs to fight his own battles from now on. He doesn't need to always step in when he feels like Gunther is being disrespected by somebody. I mean, like he did last week with Damian Priest. Didn't seem. I mean, I get it, but Gunther is definitely starting to look a wee bit vulnerable, because after he sent the Kaiser on his way, he saw Damian Priest out of the corner of his eye, went to attack Damian Priest. That plan backfired after Damian Priest laid him out and said, "You may be a general in the ring, but in the streets, I'm a king." I thought it was actually a pretty cool line. Then we get Braun Breaker. Also after this, we got Xavier Woods backstage. He's still not happy about their recent string of losses, with the New Day's recent string of losses. He just wants to get a win and wants to get back at the tag team titles no matter what. But it's obvious that they're going for a heel turn by Xavier Woods, and I'm all here for it. Then we get Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. This is for the Intercontinental title. I obviously knew Braun was going to win this match, was going to retain his title. How, I didn't know how that was going to happen. What surprised me was that Ludwig Kaiser decided to break up proceedings and decided to get involved in this match, which led to a DQ finish win for Sheamus, which actually made somewhat sense. Ludwig and Sheamus have been going at it for months, and I guess Ludwig's still sort of upset that he has lost most of their matches. Basically every match they had, it was a win for Sheamus, and he's not happy, and he's, I'm guessing, still not happy about all those losses to Sheamus, so he decided to make an example out of Sheamus and Braun Breaker. Now, apparently on the SmackDown, and also apparently on SmackDown last night, they announced a match for this week's upcoming edition of Raw, Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know who wins that match. It's non-title, but I don't know who wins that match, because if they're giving Xavier Woods if they're giving Ludwig Kaiser a bit of a push here, I could see them giving the win to Ludwig. Although Braun Breaker is the Intercontinental Champion and should not be losing that often, if at all, because he's a badass. But hey, who knows? Should be good. Should be a good match, and I'm guessing we're getting another match between Ludwig and Sheamus at some point. But hey, it is what it is. Then we get the main event, Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. This match lasted about 13 minutes. The match ended. The Bloodline 2.0 did show up to support Bronson Reed, obviously, in this match. But obviously the OG Bloodline was also there, and so they ran the new Bloodline out. Solo Sikoa, although he came back and distracted Seth Rollins at one point at the end of the match, which led to Bronson Reed hitting a tsunami on Seth Rollins to get the win. Obviously, this didn't help me decide if Seth Rollins should be the fifth man or not, but now we know who the fifth man is for the Team Bloodline OG Bloodline. So that was Monday Night Raw. If I had to rate Monday Night Raw this week, 7 out of 10. Pretty good show. Not great, but it was good. It was good. That's all I will say. Then we go on. Now we're on to Tuesday and NXT. I am now able to watch NXT, so I know all that happened. Although I do have difficulty remembering certain things. So I still decided, that I'm just gonna write it down. Like if I was going live like the next day reviewing NXT, maybe I would still be able to know everything that happened. But since it's been a few days since NXT occurred, I still wanted to make sure I remembered everything that happened. The opening at the opening of the show, we got a message from Roxanne Perez via X, as she was apparently on vacation during this episode and would not be at NXT tonight. Neither was Cora Jade. And she where's my pen? I'm gonna write something down for a second. Okay, I guess I had to write something down for a second that I remembered from NXT. But yeah, another message. But was rudely interrupted by Sol Ruka, who will be in the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match at Deadline, which is early December. I can't remember the exact date, but it's in early December. So, the first match, the opening match, was a Iron Survivor qualifying match, that being Nathan Frazier versus Eddie Thorpe. This match went about 11 minutes. Now, at different times during the match, a number of NXT's men's tag teams came out at ringside, because last week Ava told the men's tag teams in NXT that she wants them to fight for an opportunity at the tag team titles. Obviously, last week ended with a huge brawl between all of the men's tag teams within NXT. The match ended with Nathan Frazier getting the win and getting into the Iron Survivor Challenge, which I think is great. After that, though, as expected, the tag teams that were out there, they started brawling again, and security had to be brought out to separate all of them. Then we quickly go to Chase U, and Andre Chase was addressing the Chase U students, and this may very well be the last time we see Chase U. And by the end of the show, that's turned out to be the case. Chase, and is what it is. Chase U was great. Chase U was good. I didn't necessarily like Chase U sometimes, because I thought it was like too comedic and just corny and stuff, but eventually I grew to like it. Some wonders for Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Riley Osborne, and Thea Hale. We got Brinley Reese and Dion Lennox backstage getting ready for their mixed tag team match involving Carmen Petrovich and Ashante the Adonis. Then we get another Iron Survivor qualifier. This time it's a women's Iron Survivor qualifier. Zarya versus Ren Sinclair. And as soon as I saw that it was Zarya and Ren Sinclair, I was like, I know who's winning. Zarya. It was a good match, though. It lasted 6 minutes. Wasn't a squash match, which I was worried it might be, considering considering the obvious mismatch. Zarya is a powerhouse, and Ren Sinclair is just Ren Sinclair. She's nowhere near a powerhouse. A technician, maybe, because she's a part of the No Quarter Catch crew, but she was no match for Zarya, and it showed. Still, lasted long enough to actually be a decent match. So it is what it is. It's good. The next match we got, then we went and we got our next match, which was Stephanie Becker versus Jada Parker in another women's Iron Survivor qualifier. This match could have gone either way, though. I could have seen both of them winning, but then as soon as we saw Lola Vice come out near the end of the match, we saw Lola Vice come out holding a brick, almost like, yeah, you may have gotten the better of me on the ECW edition of NXT, but I'm not done. So obviously this distraction allowed Stephanie Becker to pick up the win, which I think is actually the better decision, because this women's Iron Survivor match is looking like it's going to be pretty stacked with top talent. Like, you got at least the three new signings, Stephanie Becker, Zarya, and even maybe potentially Julia getting in the match, which would be great. I mean, Kelani Jordan's already been in this match once. It was either, I think it was last year, and she was pretty good. But hey, we got. Then we go and we get Ashante the Adonis and Carmen Petrovic backstage. They, again, were getting ready for their mixed tag team match. Sorry, guys. And there. Then we go and we get the match. The mixed tag team match, Ashante the Adonis, Carmen Petrovic versus Brenly Reese and Dion Lennox. This match lasted about 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Decent match, wasn't anything special, but it was decent, and the team of Ashante and Carmen got the win, which I thought was probably a best outcome finish. We got, after the match, we got backstage. They were backstage. Nikita Lyons came in and thanked Ashante the Adonis for the call earlier in the day, and I don't know what that was about, but Ashante claimed that he never called Nikita or left a message. Don't know what that was about, but I don't know what's going on with Ashante the Adonis. He seems to be in this sort of like role of a Lothario who's just looking for love, but he's like getting rejected almost every single time he walks up to someone and hands them a rose. Like, no, man, this ain't The Bachelor. You ain't giving me no rose and I'm accepting it. We got Ridge Holland being interviewed before his main event match against Andre Chase. It is what it is. It was what it was. Now we get Tony D'Angelo versus Brooks Jensen, a non-title match. Last week, Shawn Spears wanted a NXT title shot, but he didn't want it right away. He wanted to NXT North American title shot, but he was willing to let Brooks Jensen fight the first fight against Tony D. This match lasted about 5 minutes, and it ended in a DQ finish when Shawn Spears decided to get involved in the match just when it looked like Tony D was going to win the match. Later on, almost immediately after that, Tony D'Angelo went backstage to talk to Ava about getting him and Shawn Spears into a ring for the North American title, and she made it official, so I don't know when the match will happen, but it's going to happen. Shawn Spears versus Tony D'Angelo for the NXT North American title. I'm guessing Tony wins because he only just won the title just recently, and I don't know if he should lose just yet. At least until he's gotten like maybe 3 or 4 months with the belt, for at least 3 or 4 months, then maybe you can consider taking it off him. But taking it off him like a month or two after winning it, that's something that I just wouldn't do. I wouldn't really do that. Then we get a video package for Ethan Page. Apparently, Ethan Page will be in a match next week to potentially qualify for the men's Iron Survivor Challenge match, and he will be facing it off against Axiom, who was in the first men's Iron Survivor match back at the original Deadline pay-per-view in 2022. Now, as far as who I think will win this match, Ethan Page. As much as I like Axiom, as much as I want him to win, it's Ethan Page that's getting the win. There's just no way that they don't have him win this match. But it is what it is. But should be a good match. Ethan Page wins, obviously. Now, he's not winning the Iron Survivor match. That's not happening. He's obviously not winning that match. But hey, I could see him getting into the match itself and maybe trying to score as many pinfalls or submissions as he can to try and get the win. But it's obvious that he's not going to win the match. We've got Fatal Influence. They were out in the ring to Fallon decided that she wanted to issue an open challenge, but not for this week, for next week, and she wanted someone to step up. Obviously, this led to a massive WWE NXT superstar of the NXT Women's Locker Room coming out to potentially get their shot at Fallon Henley, but the only superstar to actually get their hands on Fallon Henley was Tatum Paxley, who laid her out and then held up the NXT Women's North American Championship. So I'm guessing that's the match we're going to get next week, obviously, for the title. This upcoming Tuesday. Then we get the main event. Then we got Kelani Jordan in a video package. She will be going one-on-one against Julia next week, this upcoming Tuesday, in a women's Iron Survivor qualifier. As much as I like both superstars, as much as I'm starting to really like Julia, and as much as I really like Kelani Jordan, that match is going to be good. I could see either one. This is one of those where I actually could see either one of them getting into the match, because I know, but then again, I know that Kelani's been in the match before, so I'm guessing she wouldn't need to be in that match for a second time. So I'd say Julia wins. That's my prediction, early prediction. Then obviously the main event, Ridge Holland versus Andre Chase. This match had at least 2 stipulations to it. The first stipulation was whoever won the match would get a shot at Trick Williams' title, NXT title, at Deadline in a few weeks. Also, the second stipulation was if Andre Chase lost, then Chase U is disbanded for good. Not like earlier on this year when it looked like Chase U was going to be shut down, only to be resurrected. This time it will be a permanent end to Chase U. And as much as I wanted Andre Chase to win, I kind of figured they would go for the heel. Obviously, every single time they're going to go for the heel. So Ridge Holland won the match, which means that Chase U is done and over with. What happens with Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Thea, and Riley, what happens to all of them, I don't know. We'll see going into the next NXT show next week, this upcoming NXT show, what they have planned for Chase U following this week. But it'll be interesting to see. And that was NXT. If I had to rate NXT this week, I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. The Iron Survivor qualifying matches we got were not bad at all. Especially Nathan Frazier for Teddy Thorpe, because that was pretty decent. That was probably the better Iron Survivor qualifier of the 3 we got, followed closely by Stephanie Vaquer and Jada Parker, and then Zarya and Ren Sinclair. It is what it is. So 7 out of 10. And then on to AEW Dynamite. Now, for those who don't know, AEW Full Gear is tonight. Now, obviously, I can't watch it. I don't know who's going to win. I don't even know most of the matches that are going to be on tonight's show, tonight's pay-per-view, except the main ones that I know about. Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné, like oh, like John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry, Private Party versus Outrunners, House of Black and the the acclaimed, I don't know who, Hangman on Page versus Jay White, for Switchblade Jay White. So I don't know. There should be a good show. Maybe, I just don't know. But maybe I'll do like maybe I'll do a review of like, maybe once it's over, I'll do like a review of where I just go over the show, basically just this and that, and see what I liked about it and what I didn't like about it. Kind of like what I do here, but just like a mini version of just one show. The opener to AEW Dynamite this week saw Will Ospreay and Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricochet, and Mark Davis go up against the Don Callis family of Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita. Obviously, Ricochet and Takeshita will be in a match tonight for the international championship. Takeshita, I'm sure, should win that easily, even though it should be a good match. I just don't feel like Takeshita is going to lose that title anytime soon because he just won it no more than a month, maybe 2 months ago. But it is what it is. So we got that. It lasted about, this 8-man tag match lasted about 12 minutes. It was good. It was a good 8-man tag match because everybody involved in this match is good. But a lot of the men that are in this match have just been poorly used as of late, so it's not like it means anything. We also got a 2-on-1 match, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley made his in-ring debut this week on AEW Dynamite, facing off against two, what I will call them at best, is that they look like generic WWE 2K24 local talent that you find whenever you play like the My Gym mode. They always have the quote-unquote local/jobber talents that you can get for basically free. That's what they looked like. Joe Keys, and apparently someone named Cheeseburger, which, I mean, I should have seen it. He was wearing a unitard that basically had a cheeseburger right in the center of it. Like, oh God. And as obviously with those two names, you can obviously say that this is a squash match, and I would be like, yeah, it was. And I even timed this match. I watched the video on AEW's YouTube channel, and just because I wanted to see his debut match. And I even timed the match itself when I saw that it was going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match against two jobbers. I thought, okay, let's see how short this match is. And I timed it, and it went to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Which actually I think was a lot longer than I expected it to be. I expected it to last less than a minute. But obviously Bobby Lashley dominated. He won. Bobby Lashley and Swerve Strickland are going to have a match at Full Gear, and that actually should be a good match. I'm excited to see who wins that match, because I could see Swerve winning, because he's one of the best guys in AEW at the moment. And I could see Bobby Lashley winning simply because he's new, and he needs a couple wins under his belt to establish himself. Which is basically what all of AEW's new signings basically have done, is that they get a few wins under their belt just to establish themselves. But most of the time, they tend to drop off pretty quickly after that. After they get like 3 or 4 wins in their first 3 or 4 matches. Then they start to go downhill from there. We got Daniel Garcia and Jack Perry. They were outside. Apparently Daniel Garcia had kidnapped Jack Perry, and he had Jack Perry tied up to the hood of his own van, or his own scapegoat van that he drives around whenever he's coming to AEW or coming up to AEW with the arena. He comes in riding the scapegoat van, which is painted all black, and they're gonna have a match on tonight's Full Gear show, and I fully would love to see Daniel Garcia win, although I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger on him, because I think Daniel Garcia has yet to win a title in AEW besides the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, but that doesn't count because it's not AEW exclusive, it's Ring of Honor. But it should be a good match. I fully expect Daniel Garcia to win. I want Daniel Garcia to win, but I just don't know if he is going to. We also got Adam Cole. He was out there. He talked about MJF, obviously. He talked about how he's not able to face MJF at Full Gear, how MJF cheated him out of his match by basically saying that he made it clear that the first to 3 wins, although that was clearly not the case. He did not say the first man to 3 wins. He said whichever one of you gets the 3 wins gets the shot at me. But then he changed his own words around to make it seem like he had said the first to 3 wins gets the shot at me. And obviously, Roderick Strong got 3 wins first. But yeah, it's really that obvious. MJF does not want to face Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly, though, came out, which was a little surprising, and they had a back and forth. I don't know where that's going, but it should be interesting. Also, we did get MJF on the show. He was talking from some remote location. He was sitting on the hood of his car, of a car that I guess he was driving, and he had some words to say to his opponent, Roderick Strong. Is what it is. He said some things that obviously were raunchy. But that's the way MJF is. Love him or hate him, that's the way he is. He's going to speak his mind and he's going to talk trash. And he is not afraid to go low, not just on the mic, not just in the ring, but on the mic. And that's exactly what happened. We also got Chris Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. This match lasted about 8 minutes. Chris Statlander is facing off against Mercedes Moné tonight for the TBS title. I fully expect Mercedes to win, as if there were any doubt. This match lasted about 8 minutes. It was a decent women's match, but nothing special. Then after this, we got Roderick Strong. He came out with his group, the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett. He had words of his own to say to MJF, aka Max. I don't know why Roderick Strong feels the need to yell his word. Whenever he's talking to somebody else, wants to say something to someone, he yells their name. Like, Max! I don't know why he says that, but I don't know. But it was a good little segment with Roderick Strong. Then we get a contract signing between Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii, they will face off for the Ring of Honor World Championship at Full Gear, whether it's on the pre-show, which I'm hoping it is, or whether it's on the main show. This match will stink. And I will not care one bit who wins this match. Chris Jericho wins, fine. Congrats to him. Tomohiro Ishii wins. Interesting. Good for him, but still, I won't care. And that's the problem. Nobody cares about this match. People want to say that AEW Dynamite is just fine. It's doing just fine. It's doing just fine. It's just fine. When stuff like this, Tomohiro Ishii and Chris Jericho, are the reason why AEW is not fine. It's not fine. We got Bobby Lashley in a squash match against Joe Keys and some guy named Cheeseburger. I mean, that alone should give you an indication as to where AEW is right now. It's not fine. It's not good. Are some of the matches they produce good? Yes. The majority of their shows stink because most of what we get is stuff that either doesn't make sense or stuff that just doesn't belong on the show to begin with. After this, we got a Jamie Hayter. She was being interviewed by Renee Paquette. But as is common practice recently, I'm guessing it's Hart's sort of MO recently to interrupt Jamie Hayter's interviews with a Jamie Hart video package. Obviously, Julia Hart has made it a thing now of interrupting every one of Jamie Hayter's interviews with a video package. And the video packages are great. Obviously, Julia Hart is now coming back, and I'm guessing she's going to be affiliated with the House of Black again. And I'm excited because she's actually one of the few women's talents in AEW that I actually like. And a bunch of them are good. It's just that the women's division in AEW is good. It's got a bunch of women that are actually good, but most of them haven't been used either properly or just haven't been used at all or just haven't been used to their full potential. But it is what it is. The main event was Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. Obviously, we also got Claudio Castagnoli versus Darby Allin. That was actually a pretty decent match. So that was one of the more decent matches on the show. Obviously, the opening 8-man tag match was good too. Obviously, Claudio won his match against Darby Allin. And then the main event, Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta, obviously this match ended in DQ with the Death Riders getting involved and attacking Orange Cassidy and making Orange Cassidy. But Orange Cassidy, the show ended with Orange Cassidy obviously standing tall, which clearly makes me realize one thing: he's losing. And there's no way Orange Cassidy should be able to beat Jon Moxley tonight, even with the numbers advantage that he will have with the Death Riders and Marina Shafir. He keeps carrying around that briefcase, which I only assume has the AEW World Championship in it. But hey, AEW Dynamite, was it a good show? No. Was it okay? Yes. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 just because it was an okay show and that some of the matches were good. It's just the majority of the show stunk. Other than the 3 matches I talked about. Opening 8-man tag match, Claudio versus Darby, and Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. Everything else, not good. Well, the MJF little segment was pretty good because and the Julia Hart video package was also good. But it's just the majority of the wrestling and the majority of the in-ring stuff just didn't work. Then SmackDown, which was a great show tonight. Great show. We get Solo Sikoa opening the show. He had a message for the Bloodline, or OG Bloodline, and Roman Reigns. He demanded that they surrender now, or forever hold your peace. And they decided, and they wanted the OG Bloodline to surrender now to the War Games in the War Games match, and basically he wanted them to join him and this new Bloodline so they can run WWE and SmackDown together as as a collective powerhouse group, and that obviously is never going to happen at the moment. Then the first match of the night was a triple threat match in the Women's United States Championship Tournament. Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green versus Blair Davenport. On paper, you would think Bianca Belair is winning because this is Bianca Belair. She hardly ever loses. And when she does lose, it's usually via a distraction by somebody. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I might, maybe I won't. I might not be able to. Maybe, I don't know. After this live stream, I think I'm gonna charge my phone up again, get my phone charged up again. So, but this match actually did end with Bianca Belair getting distracted because apparently Jade Cargill was found out in the parking lot lying on top of a windshield, busted up and stuff. So Bianca went to check on her friend. Yeah, I probably will. And this left Blair and Chelsea in the ring. Chelsea Green obviously won the match using the unpretty her, and this makes the most sense. If not Bianca, then clearly Chelsea was winning this match. I think Chelsea is going to be the one that's in the finals. Who she faces off against, maybe it's Michin, because those have been the two people that people have been giving their options for the women's U.S. champion, the first U.S. women's champion. Everybody has been giving their opinions on who they would like to see. And the two most talked about women when it comes to who people want to see is Chelsea Green and Michin. And I'm guessing that may be the finals that we get, is Michin versus Chelsea Green. It would also make sense because Michin and Chelsea Green had a dumpster match that Michin won. So I can't wait to see what happens. After this, we obviously got Bianca Belair and Jade. Obviously, Bianca was outside with Jade Cargill. As Jade was being loaded into an ambulance following the supposed attack. The rest of the members of the War Games match were there with Naomi, Bayley. Bayley was out there too, and also Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. They were there. We then get Motor City Machine Guns backstage with Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano wants the Motor City Machine Guns to give them a shot, to give DIY a shot at the tag team titles, because that's all Ciampa wants. But Motor City Machine Guns decide that because of what happened last week, they feel like Street Profits deserve a rematch, which obviously would infuriate Ciampa even more, as Street Profits came to confront the DIY. Ciampa was there. We then get a match made with Tommaso Ciampa and Montez Ford for later on in the night. Then we get a Roman Reigns backstage segment. They are still contemplating who is going to be their fifth man for War Games. Obviously, Sami Zayn said, we can go with Seth Rollins again. We can try to maybe convince Seth Rollins to join us again. Or we could go with Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns just shut down both of those ideas. Point blank, period. And I'm like, yeah, there's no way Seth Rollins should be joining the team. And now that Bronson Reed is on the side of Team Bloodline 2.0, it's obvious Cody Rhodes ain't it. Because if Cody Rhodes was to be a part of the Bloodlines team for War Games, I would have said put Kevin Owens on the side of Team Bloodline 2.0, because it's the only option that would make sense, given that Cody wants to get his hands on Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens wants to get his hands on Cody. But obviously that didn't happen. Then we get LA Knight defending his United States Championship against Santos Escobar. And this match lasted about 5 minutes. It was before the match, though, we got a video package from Shinsuke Nakamura sending a message to LA Knight in Japanese, which I'm guessing was translated into English. And I'm hoping, because I didn't actually see the pre-match sort of message from Shinsuke Nakamura, but I'm hoping it was translated into English. But it is what it is. LA Knight wins, retains the title, and then Shinsuke Nakamura immediately comes out as if he was already there, just waiting for LA Knight to be done with this match so we could just attack him. This feud should be good, but for those of you who maybe don't want us, for those of you who don't want me to spoil this for you, as much as I like both superstars, I'm just gonna spoil this for all of you. Just because I know exactly how this feud is going to go down. Okay? Shinsuke Nakamura is going to look strong in this feud. He's going to get maybe a non-title win against LA Knight, maybe, which then leads to a title match, which Shinsuke Nakamura will lose, and then guess what? Won't see and then after that, guess what? We won't be seeing Shinsuke Nakamura for at least another few months, at least until the Royal Rumble. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction for this whole entire feud. Shinsuke looks strong, and he gets one win against LA Knight via a non-title match, gets a title match, loses, and then we don't see him until the Royal Rumble. That's exactly the way most of his previous feuds have been going within the last year or so. Shinsuke Nakamura looks strong, but then when it comes to the actual match itself, between whoever he's facing, he loses. Seth Rollins, you could have made the case that Shinsuke Nakamura should have beaten Seth Rollins to be World Heavyweight Champion in that last man standing match, which was a great last man standing match. You could have made the case that Shinsuke Nakamura should have beaten Cody Rhodes in that street fight on Monday Night Raw, going into the Royal Rumble, going into the WrestleMania season. But no, he lost both times. And we haven't seen him since the Cody Rhodes feud, basically since the Royal Rumble. Yeah. Sorry. We got Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes segment. Cody Rhodes wants a match with KO. I think it's going to happen at Saturday night's main event. That's my prediction. But it is what it is. Obviously, Kevin Owens had some things to say. They both been back and forth. It was a great promo back and forth exchange between the two of them. And so, when this match happens, it should be better than their last match at Bash in Berlin. For sure. And I'm guessing it is going to be at the Saturday night's main event. I would not be a bit surprised if it wasn't. Then we get Cody Rhodes backstage. Afterwards, he's backstage. And he overhears Carmelo Hayes talking trash, as Carmelo Hayes always does. And then Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes get into it. Cody Rhodes then proceeds to say, I think it's time to reevaluate your first round draft pick. Basically, Cody Rhodes is saying, I think it's about time if we evaluate as to whether or not you actually should have been the first round draft pick. So I don't think you deserved it. But this could lead to another match between the two of them, which I'm hoping will be better than the first match. Even though the first match was decent. We get a tag team match. Bayley and Naomi versus Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton. This match went about 8 minutes. Babyfaces won. Obviously, babyfaces then get ambushed by the heels in the women's War Games match, which then leads to the rest of the babyface team getting involved. And then Rhea Ripley comes out with a kendo stick shots to everybody. And this was a decent tag team match, but it didn't do anything for me. Then we get Montez Ford versus Tommaso Ciampa. This was the match of the night. The opening match, Bianca versus Chelsea versus Blair, that was a very decent match. But this was the best match of the night. Of the 4 matches we got, this was the best one. Montez Ford obviously won, but it made little sense. But it didn't mean anything because Tommaso Ciampa almost immediately, almost like when LA Knight won and Shinsuke almost automatically got on him. Same happened here. Tommaso Ciampa obviously was disappointed was angry that he lost, and so he was like, yeah, I'm not going to let you celebrate this win. You're not celebrating this win because I'm going to attack you. This led to Angelo Dawkins coming in to save Montez Ford. Then Johnny Gargano comes out to sort of make peace with everybody, and he gets shoved down yet again by Tommaso Ciampa, who is making it seem like Johnny Gargano is playing favorites and not siding with him, and is more about trying to keep the peace than trying to go after the tag team titles. It's like, can't we all just get along? Well, it's obvious Tommaso Ciampa is never going to get along with these guys. And it's obvious he's never going to get along with the Machine Guns as long as they're the tag team champions, and he isn't. So this is obviously leading towards a split by Tommaso Ciampa of DIY. He's already turned heel, basically. Now they just got to cement it with a heel turn on Johnny Gargano, which should actually be good because we all know their matches in NXT were great. And then we get the main event, which was Bloodline, which was the OG Bloodline and the Legend 1.0 out in the ring. They basically, Solo Sikoa said what he needed to say. Roman Reigns said that they're not surrendering before War Games. They made it pretty clear. That Roman Reigns' team is one member short. Then out comes Paul Heyman. Now a lot of people were observing, and apparently a lot of fans were making note of the fact that Paul Heyman was wearing the colors that Solo Sikoa has worn on numerous occasions: black suit jacket, red shirt, and a red pocket square. I've never seen Paul Heyman wear that color combo ever, and I never would have seen Paul Heyman wearing a t-shirt underneath of a suit jacket. I've never seen it happen. So I think it was pretty interesting. And people were saying that this could be a sign that Paul Heyman is going to stab Roman in the back and then join up with the new Bloodline, which I don't know if that's going to happen because they took him out. So why would he then join them? Unless he was trying to deceive Roman into thinking that he was still on his side. I don't know, it should be an interesting storyline, but he revealed the 5th man, and the 5th man for Team Roman Reigns is CM Punk. Of all people. Don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. SmackDown was a very good show this week. The best of the week. The best of all the shows this week. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. Because Larry Knight vs. Santos was decent, but it wasn't needed again. So, and the women's tag team match, Bayley, Naomi vs. Candice Tiffy, was just a match. And it didn't do much for me. So I'll give it 7.5 out of 10. Very good show. And that's it. That's it, guys. I'm done with this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me talk. I know most of you guys enjoy hearing me talk. So thank you to the guys, to the people who liked. 10 likes. That's what I wanted at least. Maybe I thought we could get more than that, but it's okay. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. And until next time, peace and bye, guys.